my name's Caitlin. I recently had the pleasure of working with Ronnie, the owner of Easy Attic Insulation. I came across him on Thumbtack. I was just looking for insulation. I had a few other jobs that I was looking for, but I came across him because I was looking for insulation. I was a little bit skeptical at first because there wasn't too much information on Google, but I gave him a chance, and I'm really glad I did. I don't think I could have found someone better. But to give you a little background, my husband and I recently moved into our first house, and this house is 50 years old. It came with a lot of problems, a lot more problems than were disclosed. To give you a little bit of information, there was a repipe, we had to have the ducts replaced, we had to have the insulation put in, and then we have a lot more little jobs that have to be done still. But anyways, I've had countless contractors come in and look at the house, and a lot of them were just interested in making a quick buck. I could tell instantly. They would come in, they would do a quick scan, and they would give me a quote, and then call me back a couple days later and ask if I wanted to work with them. They wouldn't do any explanation. They wouldn't go into the details. They didn't seem that like they really cared, honestly. But when Ronnie came, it was different. He came, he looked at the installation, he took his time, he went all the way back, and he came back, told me exactly what I needed. He even went into more detail than all of the other installation companies went. He didn't want to do a halfway job. He didn't want to just go over my old insulation and sanitize it and put the new insulation in. He wanted to scrape it out, start from scratch, and put new insulation in because that was the best option. And he gave me the best price. He did, with more work. He quoted me for less for more work, and I was amazed. And in the process of him quoting, I had mentioned that I had also needed my air ducts replaced, and I was talking to other contractors, and he had let me know that he could also do that. And I was surprised. I was like, wait, what do you mean? And that was something he could do. And he was like, what did they quote you? And I told him. He was like, I could beat that. And he beat it, and he threw in other stuff into our quote for free. He just threw it in because he knew that was what we needed. And from that moment forward, I chose Ronnie. Ronnie was fantastic. I could tell he cared. He really did care. We were brand new. This was our first house, and he wanted to just help us. He wanted to get us started on a good foot. So I accepted the quote. I had a good feeling about him, and I was right. I'm glad I was right, honestly. He was responsive every day. Every time I texted him, every question I had, he was responsive, he was respectful, he always answered my questions. And the day of the job, he was there. He was there with I think there was 5 guys here doing the entire job. They were pulling out my insulation, they were sanitizing, they were putting new insulation in, they were replacing my entire duct system, they sanitized my whole new duct system, they even cleaned all of my different AC systems within my house. And they went above and beyond, doing more work than they could have done. They didn't have to do all the extra work they did, but they did because they wanted to make sure that we were going to be taken care of and that our house was going to be as energy efficient as possible for a long, long time. Because honestly, our first bill came out as $380, and my house is only 1,200 square foot. So we needed it. We're not rich. But anyways, all in all, I couldn't have found anyone better than Ronnie. Ronnie genuinely cares. He cares about the people he works with. He cares about the quality of his work. He even came back out the next day because there was a wire that came loose in our furnace and the heat wasn't working, and we didn't know why. We thought something might have been messed up, but it was a wire that got jostled loose because we had an old house, and it wasn't his fault at all, and he drove out an hour over here just to fix a wire, and no charge, nothing. He just came out and fixed it. And I don't think anybody else would have done that. So If you're looking for insulation, you're looking for air duct services, anything, call Ronnie. Call Asiatic Insulation because you won't regret it. I promise.